What's going on, guys? Ian here, aka Jamaican Muscle. Today, I want to share something that I personally struggle with once again, as well as countless clients that I've dealt with, fortunately. And this is one of those things where I feel if you grab hold of it, if you really grab hold of it, it's going to make your fitness journey that much more obtainable, but also that much more enjoyable. And it's this. I think it's human nature to a certain extent for us to associate our worth with our accolades. We associate our feeling of self-worth with what we do or what we obtain or who the public deems us to be. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can do in life, period, but especially when it comes to your fitness journey. When I pledged Omega Psi Phi in undergrad, my dean of pledges told me this, and it stuck with me for quite some time. He said that a lot of times people think that the letters make the man, but the man makes the letters. And that's with one aspect of life, that's with fraternity. But I also think that's true in a lot of other regards. People think that the car makes the man, the job makes the man, the vehicle or the financial status makes a man, the lady on your arm makes a man or makes a person. And we cannot, we do ourselves a disservice when we associate our accolades with who we are on the inside. For those of y'all who follow me on IG, I recently posted a before and after picture, a 10-year journey, 2005 to 2015 of my fitness journey. And some of you may have been surprised, but I was 50 pounds heavier than what I am today. I had got up to about 220 pounds. When I ran track, I was probably about 165, 170. Got a little bit heavier than that towards the end of undergrad. But in my early 20s, I was a big boy, man. I was struggling. And the thing about that was my whole life, I've been active. My whole life, I was the person, I would go to the buffets, CC's, in Mo City. It was $2.99. I would eat for about 1-2 hours till it hurt. I was the person that would go to IHOP and order 2 entrees, the T-bone steak and eggs and the moons over my hammy. Loved it. Like, my parents were like, "Man, we're gonna have to get a second job just to feed you." Like, it was that crucial. I love food. I still love food, but I do a better job of saying no when it's necessary. But I basically was able to eat whatever I wanted, didn't have to worry about diet at all, up until I say early to mid-20s. And what happened was I wasn't as active, had a couple injuries, and I've caught myself 50 pounds heavier. Now, up until that point, I always got compliments on my physique. People would always ask me workout questions, workout tips. I'll make stuff up. At the time, I didn't really know. I was just blessed with good genetics because I was eating like crap. Even had high cholesterol. I was skinny, low body fat, but I had high cholesterol because my diet consisted of a lot of fatty foods, a lot of fast foods. Well, what happened was once I gained that weight, I went into a state of depression because I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I didn't like how I felt. And one thing that I didn't realize was how much I got used to receiving compliments and people acknowledging my physical status. And to have all of that removed and to get to a point where you hated looking at yourself in the mirror, where you dodge cameras left and right, it was very depressing. It was a new feeling for me. And what I realized quickly was that I had associated my sense of self-worth with my body image. I associated my sense of self-worth with my waistline, my sense of self-worth with my weight. And that was something that I really had to get through. And unfortunately, it's still something that I constantly struggle with, but at the same time, I'm nowhere near where I used to be. Until once I got a hold of that, once I understood that, this is a negative thing that you're doing, then I started to operate out of love versus operating out of depression. And when I say love, I think it's easy to imagine you loving your significant other. We just had Valentine's Day, and y'all did things for your significant other out of love. You didn't do it begrudgingly. You did it because you cared about this person, because you love this person. You wanted them to feel and experience your appreciation for them. But the same can be true with yourself. You got to have self-love. If you don't have that self-love and you're doing things out of a feeling of guilt or depression or anger or disgust at what you see in the mirror, you're going to go to the gym. You're going to go to your workouts with no type of joy. When you do it out of love, you're going to do it with a sense of joy, a sense of hope, with a smile on your face. And so I got to the point where instead of looking at myself in the mirror and like, out of disgust, I started doing it out of a sense of love. And then I found things that I actually enjoyed doing. I started looking forward to my workouts, putting down that piece of red velvet cake or not going to the fast food restaurants became a little bit easier because I was operating with a completely different mindset. Now, I know this is way easier said than done, but I want to share with y'all a couple of tips, well, 4 to be exact, tips that I use in my journey, and maybe you could use it as well. Let me know if they're helpful. The first thing is you have to know what God says about you. And what God says about you has to trump whatever anybody else says about you. So I'm a fitness competitor, okay? I compete. And because I compete, I have seasons where my body mass goes up and my body mass comes down. And there's sometimes when people say, man, you look amazing. And other times when people are like, dude, you eating too much. I cannot allow what other people say about my physique to dictate how I feel about myself. And you can't do that. You can't do that either. Regardless of you're underweight, overweight, trying to gain, trying to lose, whatever the case is, you cannot allow what society says about your waistline, about your look, to define how you feel about yourself. You have to know what God says about you. And God says that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. God says that you're made in His image. God says that He looks at the inside of a man and not the outside. You got to know what God says about who you are in order to help you get through that negative correlation between your self-worth and your waistline. All right, the second thing is positive confessions on a daily basis, man. Look in the mirror. Say, I love me. I love me some me, man. Yo, you got to love yourself. If you want to love others, and I know sometimes people associate self-love with conceitedness or cockiness, and sometimes there's a real thin line between those two things. And some people are genuinely conceited or genuinely cocky. But I'd rather have somebody with a little bit of Kanye than a lot of depression or, self-pity or whatever the case is. You got to love yourself, man. You got to get to that point where you really, you're doing things out of your love, that you see your value, that you see that you're worth the struggle, you're worth the sweat, you're worth the constant drives to the gym, you're worth the denying your flesh and not eating everything that you want. You're worth all that. So you got to continually give yourself applause and give yourself praise and give yourself, even treats along the way. Okay? And the third thing that I want to tell you about is, this is kind of funny, but this is going to be beneficial, all right? Look at yourself in the mirror, butt, booty, naked. And I know some of y'all are like, man, what's wrong with you? But I promise, look at yourself in the mirror in all your glory and focus on the things that you like. And in the beginning, it could be something as simple as, man, I like my smile. I like my dimples. I like my hair. Whatever it is, focus on that thing that you like. Why do we have the habit of focusing on the things that we dislike? We do it in relationships, we do it at our jobs, we do it in just everyday life. Don't do it when it comes to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Focus on the things that you like. Is it your bicep? Is it your shoulder? It could be the smallest little thing. But I really want y'all focus on that one thing. Focus on that one thing. And I promise you, if you continue to focus on that one thing, eventually you're going to see a second thing. Then you're going to see a third thing. Then a fourth thing. Continue to focus on the things you like and not the things you dislike. And then the fourth thing I want to leave y'all with that was very helpful, beneficial for me, is to have a goal and start moving towards that goal. If you have body image issues, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to get there? Create a step-by-step process to get you there. If it's to lose weight, first thing up, join the gym. Second, maybe change your diet. Third, get a trainer. Fourth, get an accountability partner. Whatever it is, step by step, I want you to create that and then move towards it. But along that journey, don't beat yourself up. Don't knock yourself down. Don't talk about yourself in a negative light. Love yourself. Remember what God says about yourself and continue to give yourself positive affirmation. I want y'all to remember that you can be a work of art and a work in progress at the same time. All right, guys. If you like what I'm saying, please subscribe, share with somebody else, and follow me on Instagram at Jamaican Muscle.